As we know, today's Friday the 13th, so I will be doing Haunted Scary Friday the 13th video. So let's get started with the video. But in Story Edition video. Doing Haunted Videos to October 31st, episode 12.
Some graphic and horror content and is not recommended for those who are faint of heart, who have serious health conditions, or are under the age of 14. Viewer discretion is advised. Number 15. Candle Cove. Told through a series of forum posts, Candle Cove began on the horror forums of Icor Falls on March 15th, 2009. A person under the name SkyShale033 asks if anyone remembers a children's show called Candle Cove. Several other members soon respond, stating they remember the show and begin to discuss the bizarre plot of what amounts to a rather disturbing television series. The premise was a young girl befriending a group of pirates and the crazy antics they get into. Characters included Pirate Percy, a ragdoll-esque puppet who appears to have bits of other dolls stitched to it, the terrifying Skin Taker, a skeleton who would utter the threat to grind your skin, and Horace Horrible, a monocle-wearing mustache villain and spy for the Skin Taker with a menacing grin. The discussion continues with the writers reminiscing on the more odd and scary moments of the show, even an infamous episode with only screaming for audio and the main character crying. The posts end with a user by the name of Mike Painter 65 remembering how he asked his mother about the show, and she said how she remembered he would go to the TV the same time every week to watch Candle Cove, only for him to be watching static for 20 minutes. A fan video of the screaming episode has appeared online, recreating the surreal episode. Fans of the story wishing to keep the idea alive jokingly commented how the video was just static, hopeful to freak out unsuspecting viewers to no end. Number 14. Robert the Doll. Artist Robert Eugene Otto receives a doll in his childhood between the late 1800s and early 1900s, which he names Robert after himself. However, the doll begins to take on a life of its own and starts terrorizing the Otto family after a servant was suspected of performing black magic on Robert. Apparently, Otto could be heard by his mother talking to Robert, and she would hear Robert respond. Household objects would move around or go missing, and Otto would always say Robert did it when asked by his mother where the objects went. Otto kept Robert into his adulthood and reportedly drove his wife insane. Neighbors would report seeing Robert running around the house when nobody was home. While sounding like a Child's Play inspired story, the true horror in this creepypasta is Robert the Doll actually exists and is on display at the East Martello Museum in Florida. The story of Robert's devilish activities are also highly documented, which is why the story has remained popular. Enthusiasts travel to the museum in order to get a glimpse of Robert, and it has been reported that Robert hates having his picture taken and will blur himself out of pictures with a blinding light even though a person's flash is off. Staff have also said they have found Robert in a different position in the morning than he was in the past evening. Readers of Robert's story are left to decide whether the stories are true or if they are only an early example of creepypasta. A fair warning: Robert the Doll hates skeptics. Number 13. The Portraits.